Hi, today is Friday, April 18th, 2025. Today I will be hit with another dose of stock dividends, which is estimated to be around 5 million won or 4,000 US dollars before tax. After tax of 16.5%, roughly it would be like 4.3 million or $3,000, right? Slightly over $3,000. I need the cash because I've been in the red because I spent a lot of money on my first daughter's education overseas. I need a huge boost, and this small amount of dividends is good for my bank account management. Yesterday, I heard that Italian Prime Minister visited Trump to test the waters for the entire Europe. She probably had a fruitful conversation with Trump. Let's find out if she won the tariff war of attrition or she failed miserably, because Trump is a narcissist, and also a sly slumdog and a grifter. The title, this article is from Washington.com, WashingtonPost.com, and the title is Trump says he's 100% sure of U.S.-Europe trade deal as Italian PM visits. President Donald Trump and Italian Prime Minister, it was Italian Prime Minister, not President, Giorgia Meloni, are ideological allies but have yet to reach a deal to lower trade barriers, Trump announced this month. So it's he, not she, right? George Meloni. Is it she? Right? Updated today, and it's a 5-minute read. President Donald Trump speaks with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni in the cabinet room of the White House on Thursday. Demetrius Freeman, The Washington Post. This article is by Clive R. Wooston Jr. President Donald Trump said Thursday that he is 100% sure the United States will make a trade deal with the European Union, offering hope that he would ease new tariffs he imposed earlier this month. Trump made the remarks near the beginning of a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, the first European leader to visit the White House since Trump rolled out a raft of tariffs that threaten to upend the global economy, right? Raft. A raft is a boat, right, that is made by combining a lot of dry logs tied up together with some kind of ropes. So it has a lot of logs, right? A lot of tree trunks. That means a package of terrible tariffs. Of course, there will be a trade deal, Trump told reporters before the meeting began. They want to make one very much, and we are going to make a trade deal. I fully expect it, but it will be a fair deal. Later, he said, we are going to have very little problem making a deal with Europe or anyone else, because we have something everybody else wants. Leaders on both sides of the Atlantic see Meloni as the best hope for persuading the president to back down on steep tariffs on the 27 members of the EU and dozens of other countries. Trump has a more amicable relationship with Meloni than with most of her European counterparts, and the pair hold similar ideological views. Meloni has a coalition that is Italy's most right-wing government since the authoritarian regime of Benito Mussolini was overthrown in 1943. So she's from the most right-wing government. Trump has described her as a wonderful woman and a real live wire, has hosted her at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida, and invited her to his inauguration. As president-elect, Trump pulled Meloni aside during a December 7 visit to a rebuilt Notre Dame Cathedral, his first, though unofficial, leader-to-leader engagement. In a video, so she hosted, right, invited her to in his inauguration, pulled Meloni aside, right? Pulled Meloni aside. Where the heck is my pen, right? Trump pulled Meloni aside. I feel hungry, man. I didn't eat. In a video message to the Conservative Political Action Conference this year, Meloni railed against globalist elites and the virus of cancel culture and work ideologies, saying that conservative values are really Western values and that like-minded Westerners across the globe should fight for them. Trump sees Meloni as a key force in Europe and a voice that largely sees eye to eye with the president on a lot of issues like immigration and the need to end the war in Ukraine, a senior administration official told reporters during a call with reporters in advance of the meeting between the leaders. The official spoke on the condition of anonymity per the rules of the call. I think she's increasingly playing that role in the European Union. I think a lot of other states are grateful for her leadership in their venue, and we certainly see her as a valuable interlocutor with the EU, right? Interlocutor. Someone who goes as a go-between and translate each other's intentions, like a madam do, or like a real estate agent, right? Interlocutor. Interlocutor, right? As per the rules of the call, interlocutor. Still, Meloni is trying to balance improving transcontinental trade relations with staying in Trump's good graces. And staying in Trump's good graces, damn. She's hooked, man. She's hooked. Staying in Trump's good graces. Staying in Trump's good graces. Staying in Trump's good graces. And it remains unclear what Trump easing the tariffs on European Union would look like. On Thursday, Meloni invited Trump to Italy for an official visit and suggested that Italy could serve as the location for detailed talks with other European leaders, but she skirted a question about whether the EU would continue to keep the threat of retaliatory tariffs on the table. I'm sure we can make a deal, Meloni said, and I'm here to help on that. I cannot make a deal in the name of the European Union. This month, Trump imposed what the White House has called reciprocal U.S. tariffs on dozens of countries, including 20% on the European Union. Trump quickly paused many of the new tariffs amid economic paroxysms, but left in place a still significant 10% tariff on European imports to the U.S. What is a paroxysm, right? Paroxysm. I think I heard the word once or twice.
Paroxysm.
Paroxysm.
Or paroxysm. Paroxysm. Or paroxysm.
Paroxysm. Any sudden, uncontrollable outburst, a fit of emotion or action, a paroxysm of laughter. The war unleashed a paroxysm of violence, paroxysms of rage, a paroxysm of laughter, a paroxysm of coughing. The war unleashed a paroxysm of violence. Any sudden, uncontrollable outburst, a fit of emotion or action. Severe attack or sudden increase in intensity of a disease, usually recurring periodically. Paroxysm. What happened? This month, Trump imposed paroxysm. Trump quickly paused many of new tariffs amid economic paroxysms, but left in place a still significant 10% tariff on European imports to the U.S. Leaders in the EU hope the 3-month freeze on the higher 20% rate presents an opportunity to negotiate with Meloni at the tip of the spear. Trump has bragged that dozens of global leaders, including members of a Japanese delegation in Washington on Wednesday, have been trying to strike new trade deals with him. During their bilateral meeting, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said he believed there have been calls with EU already. Meloni has criticized Trump's tariffs, but also cautioned Europe against getting involved in an escalating trade war. And she told a group of Italian business leaders on Tuesday that she was level-headed about the task in front of her. After visiting the White House, Meloni will head back to Italy to play host to Vice President JD Vance. Right? Level-headed, calm, and down to earth, I think. Let's go back and find that out. Yeah, this word appears a lot. Level-headed. Cool, poised, imperturbable, dispassionate, equanimous, right? Equanimous, passionless, equanimous, equanimity, equanimous. Yeah, level-headed. Level-headed. To play a host to Vice President JD Vance. We'll do our best, as always, she said Tuesday. Surely I am aware of what I represent, and I am aware of what I am safeguarding. Trump has routinely castigated the EU as a part of a global order that's intended to subvert the economic interests of the United States. Wow, castigate. What is castigate? I know castration and cascade, castigate, right? Castigate, punish, penalize, castigate. To criticize or punish someone severely, castigation.
Castigate.
Castigate, like a chastise, chew something out. Trump told reporters during the first meeting of his cabinet, that's the purpose of it, and they've done a good job of it, but now I'm president. Look, let's be honest. The European Union was formed in order to screw the United States, Trump told reporters during the first meeting of his cabinet. Damn, his ideas are screwed. He should be castigated, right? He has to be castigated. Still, he has shown a desire to work with and even affability toward leaders of countries that are part of the bloc, right? Affability. I've never seen this word before, but it's the noun form of the word adjective affable, right? Amicable, affable. Someone who you can talk easily with open heart, affability. Let's find out if that's true. Castigate, affable, balanced. Affable, pleasantly easy to approach and talk to, right? Affable, omniplied, affable, courageous, courteous gentleman, sociable, gracious, genial. Yeah, exactly, genial. Amiable, exactly. Amiable, genial, affable. Amiable, genial, affable. Yeah, I feel groggy, man, suddenly. Still, he has shown a desire to work with and even affability toward leaders of countries that are part of the bloc. During a February Oval Office meeting with the French President Emmanuel Macron, for example, he lavished praise on the visiting dignitary. Lavished praise. Damn, he's a psycho, man. He's a narcissist. He lavished praise on the visiting dignitary. Affability. President Macron is a very special man in my book, Trump said, because Trump wants to screw Meloni or Macron. Anthony Fiola in Rome and Ellen Francis in Brussels contributed to this report. By Clive R. Woodson Jr. Clive R. Woodson Jr. is a White House reporter for the Washington Post. So basically, Trump is a narcissist, and he thinks that European Union was formed to screw the United States. But he pulled aside Giorgia Meloni when he visited the rebuilt Notre Dame Cathedral as a president-elect. And he is sure that US-EU trade deal would work out, and he lavished praise on the visiting dignitary who is Macron, and George Meloni is she said she's level-headed, and she wants to test the waters with Trump on the tariff, but Trump issued a raft of tariffs on the European Union, but now the baseline of 10% of tariffs are still in place. And Giorgia Meloni will play host to Vice President JD Vance next week. JD Vance, when I read his face, he is out there with some agenda. His facial expression says he is a very abominable person. He hates people. He hates policies. He doesn't want to be. He's an introvert. I think he's an introvert with some anger issue. His facial expression show me that he has an anger issue, and also he's probably he has some mixed race blood running through his body, because I feel he's not English, he's not European at all. I mean, they're mixed, right? Probably he has the Roman plus Viking, barbarian blood, and a little bit of some colored race. That's my just feelings, right? Well, before I close this article and go back to work, I would like to go over the expressions that I try to remember, right? Affability, he lavished praise on the visiting dignitary. Castigate, right? Castigate. Level-headed, play host to Vice President JD Vance. Staying in Trump's graces. Staying in Trump's good 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 graces. Per the rules of the call. Per the rules of the call. Interlocutor. Interlocutor, right? Interlocutor. Per the terms of the call. Per the terms of the call. Interlocutor, dialogist, colloquist, interlocutor. Interlocutor may refer to interlocutor. Yeah, someone who mimics the puppet, right? Yeah, I did that. Oh, man. I don't know, it's a tremendous job that Mr. Bach did. He's a brilliant, right? He scored perfect on TOEIC, and but he's a poor at interlocution, right? He's not a good interlocutor, but he's a damn handsome man. If I were a woman, I would shag him, right? I would just go and date him and shag him and give it all. A person who takes part in a conversation or dialogue. I thought monologue. The man in the middle of the line of performers in the minstrel troupe, who acts as the announcer and banters with the end man. A person who questions, interlocutor. Well, that's it. Let me go back one more time. Trump pulled Meloni aside during a December 7th visit to a rebuilt Notre Dame Cathedral, right? Per the rules of the call, interlocutor, staying in Trump's good graces, to play host to Vice President JD Vance, level-headed, castigate. Trump has routinely castigated the EU as a part of a global order that's intended to subvert the economic interests of the United States. Affability, he lavished praise on the visiting dignitary. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful Friday. Yeah. Bye-bye.